to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender, Nicolas Nicolaou. Welcome.
Good morning, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. Yeah, that's right. It's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we are celebrating today. We've got a number of celebrations today as we contemplate our creeping up, like that one, creeping up to Halloween, National Candy Corn Day, Speak Up for Service Day, Breadstick Day, and of course, last but not least, National Frankenstein Day. Do not miss out tomorrow on National Caramel Apple Day. You catching a theme here? How many of these things come up with a little bit of food to chat about? You know something? I think we're in good shape there. What else do we have going on in the news today? Steve, I'm going to behave myself, so you don't need the buzzer on me today. But boy, if there was ever a day that I would have a foul-mouthed thought about a individual, because I can't say a person, because he doesn't deserve that status. What a jerk. Quentin Tarantino. I mean, anything that I could he's got to be the lowest piece of life on this planet. And I'm going to suggest, I love the idea of what the police are doing. New York, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, all getting together and saying, let's boycott any of this Slimeballs films. I agree with them. I think everybody should boycott this Slimeball. And I'm not a big one, a big boycotter of things. But when you get a Slimeball like this guy, I'd love to see him just leave the country. You know, if everything is as bad as this Slimeball says, why is he here? Why does he want to make movies in this area? Why does he have police protection? Talking about police being murderers. Unbelievable. What a lowlife. And, you know, we've talked about this before. In California, we've got a new methodology here of some of the things we do. In California, we've figured out that, you know, unfortunately, a lot of our population has not figured this out. A lot of the voters haven't figured this out. But as President Obama suggested, do you remember the last election cycle? And tongue-in-cheek, he made a comment, and I'm going to use it. I like it. Vote early, vote often. Well, in California, we're seeing people are voting in a multitude of ways. Not only do they go to the voting booths, but those who are making the most money are also voting with their feet. Yeah, they're leaving the state. So the idea here, my concept here, is with this Slimeball Tarantino, is you have a vote on what you think about him, his beliefs, his commentary, his policy. Unfortunately, there's other people in the movies with him or that work for him. If we stop going to anything that this slime ball is involved in, that's your way of voting that, hey, you know something? It's not okay what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't believe in what you're saying. You can vote. Vote with your pocketbook. Vote with your wallet, your credit card. Don't put it out for slime like this. Just my way of saying, you know, we have a lot of great police officers. Are there bad apples? Everywhere. But the majority of the police officers in this world, great people. Thank you for what you do. And I hope that more of the police unions around the country will join with New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles in staying away from slime ball like this. Unbelievable. Moving on to more of our politically correct society. Again, totally useless.
You're absolutely useless.
University of Louisville president slammed for a Halloween photo because he was wearing a quote-unquote Mexican costume. Really? It's Halloween. And you're going to worry about being politically correct on Halloween so you can't wear a sombrero with a big mustache? I mean, get real. I'd hate to say I'm glad there were no photos of some of the things we used to wear and some of the things we used to do in college. But in this society, unbelievable. Moving right along. What else do we have good to talk about today? Here's a fun story. I like this one. Washington Redskins. Yeah, that's the name of the team. I hope nobody's being offended because we use the name of the team. It's been around for a lot of years, and we're not politically correct on Ron Siegel Radio. But a little bit of hazing going on within the Washington Redskins. Well, probably not supposed to say hazing either. Darn it! You know something? I think that if we use the buzzer, Steve, on every item that I'm not supposed to say, we'd probably have a bunch of dead air. But we'll say it anyway. Washington Redskins, they have this little tradition that their rookies, there you go, their rookies in Washington, they have to pay for the full meal for dinner. For the entire defensive crew. So rookie linebacker, Preston Smith. He was among 4 people who covered the check but said it wasn't entirely shocking. Dinner for the defense for the Washington Redskins. Steakhouse dinner, $22,000, including the tip. $22,000. I don't know what you have for dinner for $22,000.
More money, more money, more money.
Man, that guy better be doing pretty well in order to those 4 people paying for that check. Unbelievable. Nick, you go out for a lot of $22,000 dinners?
Not recently.
Holy cow, $22,000. Exactly, buzz that one too. Holy cow. What else are we going to talk about today? There's a lot going on. We're going to chat today. We've got a lot on our agenda today. I'm going to share a little bit of it with you. We're going to talk about relocation. Have you ever contemplated relocation? Have you ever had a job transfer? Obviously, there is a couple of our military bases within the sound of our voice this morning. Just a couple. Do military people have to deal with relocation? There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about with it, a lot to understand and learn. So we're going to chat about relocation, what you need to know about when if you're being relocated. I'm going to chat about that today. Obviously, it is Friday, and every Friday, or almost every Friday, we have our reunion kitchen and drink date night. I'm not going to ask you the question right now, but our date night program is very, very simple. If you have been listening to the broadcasts, we are live Monday through Friday. Listen to the broadcast here. You can go to Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube and you can review the broadcast. RonSiegelRadio.tv, video live streaming every morning. Ron Siegel Radio in the archives. We put out we have conversations. From the conversations this past week, we come up with some sort of a question to ask. And that question then becomes our date night trivia question. So today we will be asking a question from the past 7 broadcasts. The winner who comes up with the answer, I think it's even a yes-no question, so it's not even that difficult. The winner gets a date night package, $100 gift card to Reunion Kitchen and Drink, movie tickets, Starbucks cards. That's a great program, so make sure you are listening, as you are now, to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Relocation will be our topic today. The difference an hour can make. Changing those clocks. Halloween, it's coming. Send us some pictures of your Halloween costumes. We might even find an extra date night card for that. You can reach us anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
It's not every day your home gets flooded, but when it happens, you've got the good people at APRIS on your side. With over 25 years of construction and insurance experience, they can turn any disaster around, making your home good as new. For 24/7 support, call 844-GO-APRIS or find us on the web at www.apris.me. Day, night, rain, or shine, when it happens to you, you know what to do. Go APRIS. Remember, call 844-GO-APRIS. That's 844-462-7747.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. I've shared this with you on a regular basis. There is 1 in 3 homeowners, according to Freddie Mac, who do not know that they've got more than 20% equity in their properties. 1 out of every 3 homeowners. How do you make informed decisions without being informed? The area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will help you with the true value of your home. All you need to do is text RSRCMA to 79564. The professionals will get you the true value of your home. So what does the difference an hour makes? Why do I even bring up an hour? Well, we're talking about daylight savings time. We're turning our clocks back on Sunday morning. So let's think about this one. Remember, turn your clock back at this, to fall backwards. Remember that idea? Every hour in the United States, 634 homes sell. 347 homes regain positive equity. And the median home values go up $1.46 every hour. So just think about that. When you turn the clock back, you're going to get an extra $1.46 in the value of your house. Just a little thought for you there, a little bit of fun. And I don't know how, Nick, maybe you're going to be able to help me with this one. 634 homes sell every hour. That means you're going to be able to sell an extra couple houses on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because get an extra hour. It's a 25-hour day instead of a 24-hour day. So you get to work a little harder.
I want to share that with the team and get them working harder.
Yeah, there you go. Tell the team over at Nicolas Nicolaou Real Estate Services. You tell them that they've got to sell a little more on Sunday because they've got an extra hour to work. You notice that hour, though, it always comes up in the middle of the night, so it's not during the workday.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it make a little more sense at 10 a.m.? You turn the clocks back an hour and you get... If you're a business owner, you might like that. If you're an employee, you may not be too happy about that.
Well, I hear you get up early, Ron, so you're going to...
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's Sunday. I'll be out walking early. It's come over and see us. We walk out there Balboa Island early in the morning, so come over and say hello. Again... That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Get the true value of your home. Zillow and Trulia, I'm telling you, they're the same company. If you want the documentation of how much their values are off or could be off, I'll send you the documentation from their website. That's where I got the documentation from. The real estate professionals in our group, they're working in your neighborhood. It's not like it's an algorithm to give you valuations. They're working in your neighborhood, La Jolla. They're working in your neighborhood, Escondido, Temecula, Murrieta, Anaheim, all over under the sound of my voice. Think about it, RSRCMA to 79564. So we decided we were going to have this conversation because not a lot of people are moving at this time of year, but at the beginning of the year, I hear a lot of relocation conversation. And really, when it comes to those people buying and selling houses, in the last couple of months of the year, I would suggest more often than not, it's people that have a definite need. It's not a matter of saying, I want to move, or I want a bigger house, or I want a pool, or I want a different school. It's this time of year, I get a job transfer. My mom's not healthy, I need a bigger house, or I need a downstairs so mom can move in with me. It's all about need, because there's a lot of things going on. You've got all the holidays, you've got Halloween tomorrow, and you've got Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah and all the different holidays coming up. It's need time. Well, relocation is a need. If you get a job transfer, you might have to take up moving when that happens to take advantage of that, as opposed to when you might want to move. So we decided, I reached out, and Nicolas Nicolaou is with us this morning, Nicolas Nicolaou Real Estate Services, and he's done a lot of relocations, helped a lot of people relocating, so I figured, got to bring in the experts to chat about it. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. So what does it mean relocating? I mean, that's a whole different arena of business, right?
Well, typically that... a corporation like Honda or Toyota, one of these larger corporations, are going to take a very valuable employee and move them. So to them, that's the number one asset, is the employee. So
and you know something, what's important right here now, Nick, is when you and I decided to do this broadcast together and share this information, I don't know about you, I didn't have the inside information that Northrop Grumman was going to get that big contract to build those stealth bombers out in Palmdale.
Wow.
So they're going to have 6,500 people, 6,500 new jobs in Palmdale to build the bomber. But all those ancillary businesses that need to provide the parts,
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of relocation into this area.
Sure.
Right? So what do these people need to know?
Well, I think the single most significant thing about up and moving from where you grew up or where you've lived for the last 20 years is all your reference points psychologically, all these things of who you are, your friends, your relatives, everyone's there. So when you up and move, you're kind of starting over, and that kind of it does shake you up. So part of being good at relocation involves understanding the psychology of the relocatee and their needs.
Big issue there because, when we talk about somebody that's moving to Southern California, maybe they're moving here from, I don't know, Missouri or Wisconsin. It's more than just leave the winter coats there because we don't really have a winter compared to Wisconsin. Right? But I suggest that the real estate agent is probably one. I always say that the real estate agent is the gatekeeper. Because as a real estate agent, especially if you're a relocation expert like you're going to end up knowing where the schools are. You can talk to your agents about that. You're going to know where to find a handyman, where to find an insurance agent, shopping, right? I mean, because mom, and I hate to be gender specific, but I will, mom's going to need to know where the grocery store is.
Right.
As the agent, all those things are changing, right? I mean, we don't even have Hy-Vee out here. Somebody's moving from Iowa.
Well, the great thing is, with all these online resources, they can easily see the crime, the schools, and most consumers are viewing that pretty quickly. But I think more importantly is seeing, like, what was their lifestyle before. For example, I relocated from New York 16 years ago, and I was used to, the greatest food available anywhere. I could just go 2 miles that way and have Polish food, or 2 miles that way and have the best pizza, so I knew where to go. And
in New York, it was probably 2 blocks.
Right. So we had all these food options, so that became part of my culture and part of who I was, just having all these amazing food options, and it was a comfort. And then relocating into Orange County out of Manhattan, now I'm in a suburb, and there's Carl's Jr. and all these things, but they're not what I'm used to. So it took me a good 10 years to comprehend that and find food options that were acceptable to me.
So how do we deal with all those things?
Well, and that's what we look at. We look at where whoever's relocating, where they're coming from, and try to help them pick a city that's going to lend itself better to their, what they're used to.
Got it. Okay.
Or just at least inform them about that, so that's a decision they can make.
They have to get to know the culture here. I mean, if you're coming from Manhattan, New York City.
And maybe Fullerton's a better place, or Brea, or maybe you should be at Laguna Beach, or someplace where you can
where there's a lot of walking,
acclimate. People watching. There's so many different things that a New Yorker would be acclimated to, say, than someone from Portland, coming this way.
Right. There's a whole lot of differences there. How does that affect their house, though? I mean, they're going to get. We got to talk. Do you start off with a telephone conversation? Heck, nowadays you can probably even do a Skype call, right?
Well, we interview them and try to see what's the most important. Is it the schools? Is it being closer to a city, like a city proper, kind of like Fullerton or something like that, or what?
Horse
their
property
lifestyle. Are they outdoorsy? Do they need to go hiking all the time? So we look at those things, try to really narrow down what city will work. Because think about it, if you're going to Palmdale, you may not necessarily live in Palmdale. Right. You may live in Yucca Valley, or I don't know, wherever you want to live. Right.
I don't know anybody that wants to live in Palmdale.
Right.
I spent a week in Palmdale one night.
Haven't been there.
But I just went there for a high school football game. That's the only reason I was even there. I kid about Palmdale. What the heck?
So, but they can pick a city first, right?
Sure.
You can help them narrow it down to a city or a community, and then from there educate them on the schools and the other options that are available.
What are they looking for on the outbound side? I mean, that obviously the inbound is Are there company programs, company benefits that you've experienced with relocation?
Well, so like we said in the beginning, that the relocatee is the most important asset to the corporation. All the corporation wants from the relocation company is to get either the home sold or the person into the new home quickly. But what they want is time is of the essence, as quick as possible, because typically that employee has people they're managing. It's usually upper management. So it's all dependent, and they really want a smooth transition and to make that as comfortable for the relocatee.
We're going to talk more about this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Relocation is our subject today, and we're chatting with Nicolas Nicolaou Real Estate Services. Chat about that more. An employee background check firm has to pay $13 million over inaccurate reports. What's that all about? And some things to consider before relocating for a new job. How do you know that we put that on the schedule for today, too? All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Call the off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL lendingteam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694452.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today brought to you by, it's the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Think about this one. You obviously need a household board of directors. Everybody needs a household board of directors. If Apple Computer, they make $1 billion a week, they need a board of directors. Why do you think you don't? So how do you find one? Well, it's really simple. You just text ATP, Area Trusted Professional, to 79564, fill out a 3-minute survey, and we'll send you a whole list of the people that you need on your household board of directors. It's not complicated. It's basically yes, no questions. Not everybody needs a divorce attorney, a family attorney. I know everybody needs an estate attorney. If you've got a house or if you've got a family, you need it. Text ATP to 79564. We'll set up that household board of directors interviews for you, and it's totally complimentary as a listener to Ron Siegel Radio. The question we have today, things to consider before relocating for a job. You know, we may even do this a little different than we normally do, because usually I go through this in about a minute or two. But being that we've got the certified relocation guru with us, I don't know if you're certified guru or certified relocation. What are those, Nick? I'm certifiably a little loony, especially on a Friday, but we'll skip that issue right now. Relocations, I'm going to throw these at you. I haven't even shared them with you. How will this affect my relationship? If you're single in your 20s and enjoy a traveling lifestyle, you may be open to taking a job halfway across the country, according to this report. I'm going to suggest, if you're in the traveling world, if that's part of your business, it's a lot better to do before you start a family, before you have the relationships. I know you've got some kids, Nick, so do I. You had to do a lot of travel. I used to travel 30 weeks a year. It's not fun.
I was in the auto show business for a while, yeah. I used to travel every month.
Right, so it's not fun once you have a family.
No.
Think, does relocation have an effect on a household relationship?
Well, the whole house is moving.
Yeah, I mean,
so the kids aren't going to be happy changing schools. There's a lot of things that come up. I remember when I was 11 or 12, my parents started to move from one neighborhood and 8 miles the other way, and I know we didn't like it. My brother and I were really upset, and we fought it tooth and nail.
And just to put that in context, in New York City, moving 8 miles in New York City is probably the same as moving 50 miles in Southern California.
Oh yeah, it's like
it's a different world.
Totally, yeah, because everything's on foot. So we'd go out and hang out with our friends, and now you're going to put us in a whole new neighborhood?
Yeah, a whole different world. Okay, so we actually, that was number 2 also. What about the kids? It's because that is a big consideration, especially if you're doing a relocation during a senior year of someone in high school or around the holiday time. Big issues right there. Think about this one. You were talking about a couple of real big companies early. What kind of a financial shape is the company in? Right? Do you want to be moving across country to a company that is on shaky footing?
Right.
You got to check into that, right? Right. I mean, to me, it seems like you'd have to look into it. Will the company cover your moving expenses? You and I were talking during the break about that. Maybe those are all negotiable. There's not a federal law that says under relocation you get paid X.
Right. The employee opts in. Right. The person being relocated opts into this package. There's a major tax incentive for it, and the relocation company as well as the employer typically cover a lot of the costs, realtor fees, moving costs, everything you can imagine under the sun is an option.
It's negotiable.
It's negotiable.
And obviously then that comes into great tie-in there, Nick, is our area trusted professionals, household board of directors, right? You want to talk to that tax person to see what those benefits are that Nick's just telling you about there. It may apply to you, it may not apply to you, because I know I'm not a tax professional. I want you to have the questions, so that's our whole issue. Cost of living, it's going to change. I don't know whether it's going to go up or down depending upon where someone's coming from. If they're moving from San Francisco down to Southern California, a little bit lower median household price. If you're coming from South Bend, Indiana, it may be a little bit higher price. Something to talk about, think about?
Well, I think that's in the consideration of, is it a promotion? Why are they moving in the first place? And hopefully that would be addressed prior to the negotiation on.
And you can also find that out. There is a website, payscale.com, gives you comparable salary data. If you're living in Corona or Temecula and you're getting relocated to New York City, you might pay, here's a couple of numbers. Just New York City cost of living is significantly higher than the national average, 48% more for groceries than the national average. Housing, 352% above national average. Utilities, 28%. Transportation, 31%. Healthcare, 25%. I don't know if you're moving to New York City, but there are national averages for all these things. You need to check that out and just be aware.
Well, remember we had Kaiser built that new facility out in Anaheim?
Right.
And there was a lot of doctors being asked to relocate. And we had the pleasure of working with one that was coming in from Seattle. And even with the difference in pay and all the things, my conversations with him, he said, it just doesn't add up for me to move and go from a $450,000 estate home to a, $800,000 shack.
Right.
So for him, and then with the cost of living and everything, he says, I'm just not going to take this promotion because it's not a promotion for me.
Right. It really changes the whole world in there, and that's a big issue.
So we never got to help him move because he didn't move.
but you got to help him.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. That's what we like. That's our whole focus today. Is our focus every day is basically on helping people. But if he didn't know that, if he didn't come down and have somebody like yourself who's trained in relocation to show him, hey, your $400,000 is equivalent in Southern California to maybe $1.5 million. I don't know what the price variances are, but if you're used to living in a 4,000-foot house that's 2 miles from work, well, what's a 4,000-foot house going to be costing 2 miles from a Kaiser facility in Anaheim?
Right. Now, and our counsel to him was go back and renegotiate your agreement.
Right.
Don't take the agreement and push it up to where it actually makes sense. And we helped him find a number that worked, and then, unfortunately, that wasn't negotiable for him. But
that's,
we put it in perspective.
Right. And that's the key. That's what we're trying to bring out is, maybe it's a great, and sometimes it's other opportunities within there that make it make sense. But at least you're making an educated decision.
Right.
What else do we need to know about relocation? We know that it's negotiable.
Even picking the realtor is negotiable. Now, obviously, you want to pick a certified relocation specialist, and you want to pick someone that has knowledge of the systems they use too, because the relocation companies have software that they use, and there's protocol and benchmarks of how the things they expect, like getting school reports, getting having their time best used. When you have someone coming in from out of town, you want to have an itinerary ready, right?
Right.
Of where they're going, because they're there for a short pocket of time, and what you don't want to do is have them kind of running in the wrong direction or picking things that aren't going to work. So you help them kind of narrow down the scope and use their time best. And even preview homes prior to their arrival, excluding homes that don't make sense. But the point is, they can pick the agent they want. And so if they're going to list their home, they can pick the top agent in their neighborhood. And more than likely, they're certified in relocation, and the relocation company may not like it, but they will have to honor it. Because you're in charge. It's your home.
It's your home.
You get to pick. You get to pick the agent.
And I'm going to share a little bit of a story here, because this happened with a friend of mine. His wife is a professional, a highly decorated professional within the insurance industry, and their house happened to be that it was underwater, and the company wanted her to move so bad and to pick up in a different state that they were willing to make up that difference and cover that, because that was what was important to the company.
Right, she was important to the company, and that's where we talk about the tax benefit. That's a relocation cost, so it doesn't become, from what I understand, it doesn't become income, like actual income.
Right. Okay. And again, that's where we want to get the tax professionals tied into the whole conversation. And every case is different. So what is your business? What are you doing? How much do you need to move? Maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe it's one of those things that it's either, the whole company is moving, and either you move or you lose your job. Those are issues to think about as well. We'll continue our conversation, but that was the Word on Wealth segment brought to you by the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio, developing that household board of directors for you by simply texting ATP to 79564. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, yes, we will have our date night trivia question. Might even see, I'm sure that knowing now that Nick is from New York, he's probably rooting for the Royals this weekend, but we'll ask him. You can reach us at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Tweet us at Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Don't miss the grand opening of the new hotel tower at Viejas Casino and Resort. Join the weekend celebration Friday, October 30th to Sunday, November 1st.
Listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. Well, what are you doing about it? Well, Credit Sanitizer, they will help you with that. You just need to make that phone call and get a hold of them, and they'll take care of that whole issue for you. I share this on a regular basis. I've never, ever seen a credit report that's completely accurate. I don't know why people seem to think theirs are accurate. But here's another one of those areas where it comes into play. A recent issues, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a major employee background check firm, paying $13 million over inaccurate reports. Two of the largest employment background check companies must pay $10.5 million to consumers for selling inaccurate information about job applicants to employers, according to the CFPB. General Information Services and BackgroundChecks.com will also have to pay $2.5 million civil penalty for failing to verify the accuracy of the reports they sold. Think about that. We got $13 million in penalties. Do you think they care? They're billion-dollar companies. That's why I tell you, you've got to be watching your credit report like a hawk. No one else is going to watch it. You got to do it for yourself. You've got to be your own advocate. It is Friday. Friday means it's date night. Time for our Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia question presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. And being that we've been talking about moving a little bit today, this kind of tied in. Lisa Dunn was with us earlier this week, and we were chatting about VA loans. So here's the question, and it has to do with VA loans. Are they assumable? According to Lisa Dunn, are VA loans assumable? If you are the third person to post the correct answer, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, third person, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, you will win that date night trivia package presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. It's dinner for two to Reunion Kitchen and Drink. It's a couple of movie tickets, Starbucks. Enjoy it. All because of our friends over at Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Again, Lisa Dunn visited us this past week. We were chatting about VA loans. Are they assumable? That should be an easy one to get that answer to, right? That's the fun of the day today. We've also been chatting. That's Friday. There's so much to chat about on Fridays. I'm watching what the markets are doing, that big old yo-yo going on in the market. Had the Federal Reserve coming out to try and scare people this past Wednesday with their comments. Then they try and correct these scare tactics the day after that because they watch the market go crazy based on their commentary. I always love watching what the Fed does and the repercussions, the unintended maybe they're the intended consequences. Think about this for a second. We have a $19 trillion national debt, and it's growing every day. $19 trillion national debt. And the Federal Reserve is talking about raising interest rates. Think about what that's going to do to the national debt. If they raise interest rates, do you think that the debt goes up or goes down? Well, the interest is probably the largest line item on our federal budget. So basically what they're saying is charge me more money. I don't really believe that's going to happen a whole lot. Plus, talking about an election year, they said that they're going to do it before the end at the December meeting. Do you think they're going to do that when consumer sentiment dropped based on the University of Michigan report? Probably not a good idea. We did get a little bit of a decent number out of the Institute for Supply Management. That one just came out this morning. Finally, that our economy is not contracting. So that's a little bit better right there. But we're still seeing that the 10-year Treasury heading in the wrong direction, at least from an interest rate standpoint. The 10-year Treasury is up 7 basis points to 2.16 yield. That means the government is having to pay more money on that borrowed funds. Every time they turn those funds over, they're having to pay more money for it. Think about that. Probably not the ideal time to go into looking at increasing interest rates. Now, we did get for you and I guess the relocation people is even better, Nick, is that $2.18 a gallon for gasoline is the national average. Good number there, but in the state of confusion, our average here is $2.83. So we get to pay that extra 70 cents, 65 cents, because we like to pay extra taxes. I saw New Jersey, though. New Jersey, I think, is under $2 right now. What do you think?
I think that's pretty good.
Probably not enough to get you to relocate, though, right?
Not to Jersey.
New York City. He's a New Yorker boy. What made you move out here?
A woman. Not always the case.
Oh, okay.
I think California women go fishing in New York City.
I'm not even going to go there. That can only get me in trouble. I'm looking at New Jersey gas prices, $1.93. But if you go across the bridge there to New York, you're at $2.30, almost $2.34 a gallon. South Carolina, $1.88. Tennessee, Texas, all under $2. Virginia, under $2. It's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
So, Yankees or Mets?
I gotta say Yankees.
Okay, so then are you one of the absolutionists that if it's Yankees, you're anti-New York after that, or are you rooting for the Mets right now in the World Series?
Oh, I gotta be rooting for the Mets right now, yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna take the Mets over the Royals?
Yeah.
You're gonna think they're comeback kids? Down 2-0, they're going to come back and take the series?
You know that anything can happen in the World Series. You know that.
That sounds like a definite answer right there.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve, pipe in there, buddy. I think you said earlier that your prediction was the Mets. Are you changing that before the...
6 or 7.
The Mets in 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say that I'm gonna really do the politically correct issue. If it's the Mets, it's gonna take 7. Royals can do it in 6, though. Have to go the full distance for the Mets to win. We'll see what happens. Get back to our conversation on relocation. What have we missed? Have we missed anything that moving companies? Do you have to find? Is it special moving companies to move you all the way across country, or?
You know, the great thing about having a relocation company is that they take care of all of it. So typically the family that's moving doesn't have to do much except pack some personal items.
Wow, so you get the fancy movers where they come in and do all the packing for you?
Typically. Now, it just depends on how important you are to the company.
It's all negotiation.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. We've met with families, Ron, that have moved 3 or 4 times in less than 10 years.
Wow.
All over the country. And it's very difficult on their kids. It's just...
Well, I know, you know something, I must admit, I do have one of my wife's cousins works for the U.S. Department of State. And when it comes to moving them, boy, they put the family on an airplane and everything shows up where it's supposed to be, when it's supposed to be there. Cars, furniture, they come in and pack. Well, it's taxpayer dollars, so that's good. They come in and pack them and move them. Sometimes it's around different parts of the world too, so it's not quite as easy as some other times. What else are we talking about? I mean, we've talked. You know, for me, I mean, Nick, you can tell those of you that are watching us on our video stream here, I like to eat. So where do we get the good restaurants when we move? How do we know comfort food? What's that all about? I mean, in New York, you're getting New York pizza. Here, you're getting the good stuff from Chicago.
I think it's what you're used to, right?
Yeah.
Some people we meet, they just eat at home. They've never eaten out, so they're not multicultural in their palate, right? But if you grew up in a big city like New York,
Chicago, Los Angeles, you can get everything.
So dinner for you may be Japanese or Chinese or Vietnamese or Greek or Italian. It just depends what you're in the mood for, right? Well, if you grew up in the Midwest somewhere or in some little town, dinner was what mom had on the table, so.
A lot of great information. Believe it or not, relocation is a specialty factor. It is an expertise. And if you want to meet Nick Nicolaou, if you're in the Southern California area, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A very big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. If you missed any part of our broadcast, it will be in our replay on the archives, Ron Siegel Radio, and on YouTube, Ron Siegel 1. Remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.
The yellow umbrellas are popping up